Hi, this is Professor Marsh, and this is topic number 32 about finishing the return. So, with respect to the preparation of 2022 returns, when we finish with this lesson, we will be finished with the topics that are needed to prepare 2022 tax returns for your clients in the Vita Volunteer program. We're going to start, as we have for the last few lessons, with the lesson plan for topic number 32. So go ahead and get the 2022 lesson plans and get lesson plan for topic number 32. And as you can see, it's a very short one. It's only 5 pages. And as you know, the last couple of pages are typically links to additional resources. So there's really not much to this. If you've been watching the Tax Slayer videos, and I certainly hope you have, because it's going to be hard to pass the certification exam without having the benefit of having watched those videos. But the Tax Slayer program basically at this point has gotten all the information it needs to calculate the tax. And so what this lesson is about is basically about how to get the return printed, how to get it filed, how to get the additional checks, and making sure that things have been entered properly and there are no blatant errors on the tax return preparation. So there are links in this material to various tax topics that you'll find in section publication 4012 on printing and storing returns, requirements for record keeping, closing the contact with the taxpayer, and these are all important things for us to do in the VITA program. You'll see key terms with respect to electronic filing, Form W-4, the withholding certificate. This is if the taxpayer has a problem with over withholding or under withholding. This is a form that can allow the taxpayer to change the amount of their withholding so that they're closer to the result they want to have for the next year. It talks about withholding allowances and withholding taxes, but basically what you're going to be doing is just probably things that you've already been doing if you've been working with Tax Slayer. Just closing out the preparation of the return for 2022 for your particular client, printing a hard copy, distributing copies of the returns, and record keeping requirements, and of course also the confidentiality requirements that are part of our ethical obligations on the volunteer standards of conduct. So you can see that on pages 1 and 2. There is a link to an IRS very helpful website on a checklist of common errors when preparing your tax return. So maybe take a look at that checklist and work through that checklist before you actually print and finish the return. And that's a useful practice to get into. And of course, we do have the requirement in the VITA program that the same person who prepares the return does not review it. We have a required quality review where someone takes the return and compares it to the Form 13614 and perhaps has to ask some additional questions of their client or taxpayer before the return is released and sent to the IRS via e-filing or otherwise. So that's basically what this is all about. There is a link on page 4 out of 5 to the YouTube video on how to fill out the Form W-4 for withholding allowances, and then also just right below that a Tax Slayer training video, which is just a short video, 2 minutes on printing the tax return, and then there's a practice lab tutorial and some additional links to tax topics. But this is pretty much it. So you can take a look at the classroom presentation slides, and there is also a skills workout for this particular topic. And let's just turn to that briefly to get into the, at least the, this is if you look at the current 2022 materials. This is topic number 32, and that's how I'm referring to it. If you go back to the skills workout, you'll see this is topic number 31 because the skills workouts weren't completely updated from back in 2021, and you'll see that there's a lesson about this that is only 9 pages long, and it talks about the objectives, and at the end of the lesson, using this resource material, you should be able to assemble the taxpayer's copy of the tax return, identify the records that the site maintains, explain which records the taxpayer should maintain, and end the interview. And that's all we're talking about. So it'll only take a few minutes to complete this lesson. It gives you some visuals on what to expect as far as what the forms are going to look like, what records need to be kept, and then additional steps that are required for the proper procedures at the Vita TCE volunteer site that is actually doing the work with the taxpayer. So that's it for completing the tax returns. I hope that you've enjoyed this. There will be one more video on amended returns, which I'll post at some time. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm always happy to talk about taxes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.